Welcome everyone to the Wild Turtle Week Partner webinar. We're really excited that you're interested in participating in Wild Turtle Week. And so today we're going to do some quick introductions. We'll give you some background on turtles and the threats that they face. And then we're going to dive into Wild Turtle Week, why it's important, how you can participate. And we're really excited to have you join us. So, my name is Tessa Kafritz. I have been on the Wild Turtle Week team since 2024, and I have been co-leading it since 2025 with Dimitri. I currently work at the National Center for Ecological Analysis and Synthesis as the lead science communicator. I love getting people connected with all sorts of science topics, and Wild Turtle Week is really awesome for me because I love getting people connected with turtles and other reptiles and amphibians. And my favorite turtle is the gopher tortoise.
Thanks, Tessa. Hello, everyone. My name is Dimitri Rucker. This is my second year with the Wild Turtle Week team, my second year hosting Wild Turtle Week with Tessa. I am a senior environmental specialist with Maryland Environmental Service, right outside of Baltimore, Maryland, at a special place called Masonville Cove. One of my favorite species is the North American wood turtle. I had the opportunity to do field surveys with them or for them with Fish and Wildlife in my former role, and they had a really good impression on me. And yeah, I'm excited to be here with you all today to talk about wild turtle week.
Awesome. So to get turtles on the mind, we're gonna do some quick turtle trivia. So you guys at home, think about which country has the most turtle diversity. So we have A, Mexico, B, Brazil, C, the USA, and D, Colombia. So the United States of America has the most turtle diversity with 57 different kinds of species of turtles, which is pretty special. So Wild Turtle Week is primarily focused on North American turtles, and you can see why we have so many in the US just alone. So we're really excited to start talking to you guys about turtles. Dimitri will tell us about what they are.
So let's start with the basics. What are turtles? Turtles are reptiles characterized by having a hard, protective shell covering their bodies. They belong to the order Testudines, which is derived from the Latin word for shell. It is believed that their shell evolved mainly from their ribs, and they are cold-blooded, breathe air, and lay eggs just like other reptiles. Turtles have been around for millions of years and can be found in various aquatic and semi-aquatic environments, with some species also inhabiting land. And turtles can be split into two groups, Cryptodyra and Pleurodyra. Beginning with Cryptodyra, the Cryptodyra, Greek meaning hidden neck, are a suborder of Testudines that includes most living tortoises and turtles. Cryptodyra is commonly called the hidden neck turtles or the inside neck turtles. And Cryptodyra differ from Pleurodyra, which are side neck turtles, in that they lower their necks and pull their heads straight back into the shells instead of folding their necks sideways along the body under the shell's marginals. For Pleurodyra are known for more commonly as the side neck turtles, and the name Pleurodyra quite literally translates to side neck turtles. And for turtles by the numbers, these animals being so widespread and around the world, there are many different kinds of turtles and tortoises that come in all shapes and sizes, as you can see here. Each species is unique. The massive sea turtles have limbs that are modified to resemble paddles. They can and do travel across an entire ocean, but have great difficulty hauling themselves up on an ocean beach to dig a nest. At the opposite end of the spectrum are the land tortoises, which have club-like feet that resemble those possessed by elephants. And most freshwater turtles, including the box turtle, have limbs modified to allow for both swimming and walking. And so you can see turtles have adapted to many different environments. With that being said, and them being in so many different environments, there are currently 350 different species of turtles, and they can be found on all continents except Antarctica. Out of those 350 species, 20% are sea turtles, and the other 80% is made up of freshwater and terrestrial turtles. Not much attention is brought to freshwater and terrestrial turtles compared to sea turtle conservation efforts. According to the International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources, 187 species of turtle are considered threatened, which means the species is likely to become endangered within the foreseeable future. And then 127 species of turtle are listed as endangered, which is when a species faces a high risk of extinction in the wild, and critically endangered, which is when a species faces an extremely high risk of extinction in the wild. Endangered species are nearing extinction, while critically endangered species are in a state of dire peril with the possibility of going extinct soon.
So now that we're more familiar about what turtles are, we're going to talk a little bit about their importance and why it's important to celebrate them, get people connected with them, because they're really important for a variety of reasons. So one of those is that they play really important roles in food webs. So they will be predators and prey depending on the time of their life. So a lot of juveniles and hatchlings are a lot of prey items for animals like birds and crabs, mammals, and then adult turtles often feed on plants, invertebrates, and small animals. So that's really important, just like the variety of predators and prey. But they also will have, they also are scavengers. So they'll eat dead plants and animal matter. So they help regulate those populations. They have very diverse diets, so they help regulate populations because of that. So a lot of turtles are herbivores, meaning they eat plants. So they help keep those plant populations in check. Some are carnivores. Many are actually omnivores. So omnivores eat plants and meat. And so they help just regulate a lot of different populations because of their diverse diets. And some are really specialized feeders as well. Sea turtles, for example, are specialized in eating jellyfish. And so because of that, they just help keep populations at reasonable numbers, so no one population overpowers the other. Because of their diets, again, they also are really great seed dispersers. So turtles move through their habitats, they spread seeds through their waste, helping plants grow in new areas. In some cases, plants rely heavily on turtles for survival. The eastern box turtle is a good example of how they are the reason that flowering May apple can germinate. So the seeds have to go through the digestive system of the eastern box turtle to help that plant grow, which is really important. Um, they also, the way that they move through their ecosystems is also really important because they are considered ecosystem engineers. So that means they modify their environments in ways that benefit other species. And there's a couple of different examples of this. Gopher tortoises, my favorites, dig extensive burrows that provide shelter for more than 300 other species. So, Florida, where they're primarily found, is a fire ecosystem. There's a lot of different naturally occurring fires that will happen, and those burrows that the gopher tortoises create provide shelter for other animals, which just makes them such a great roommate. Similarly, Galapagos tortoises move through their environments, creating opportunities for other animals as well. They will move through vegetation and kind of be like almost like little tanks helping to clear the way for vegetation so other animals can more easily move through the environment and other vegetation can grow. So it helps maintain pathways for other animals and plant diversity. And also just because of the way that they move through their ecosystems, they help cycle nutrients throughout the ecosystem. So we've talked about how turtles can be on land and water. They'll travel all throughout terrestrial ecosystems. And so through their waste, they can help redistribute nutrients through feeding and just being on those different land and water environments.
And now I will talk about the threats to turtles. So, starting off, one of the biggest threats to turtles and animals everywhere is habitat loss and degradation. In relation to turtles, habitat loss can impact foraging, available nesting area, and most importantly, a turtle or tortoise's overall chances of survival. Habitat loss and degradation can come in many forms, such as deforestation, wetland drainage, habitat fragmentation, beach development for sea turtles, urbanization, and road construction, which further fragments their habitats and increases the risk of a turtle falling victim to a huge threat for them, which is road mortality. And due to roads and the habitat fragmentation, they cause turtles fall victims to car strikes all the time. We see it especially now as spring is coming along and in the summer. Turtles will often be seen crossing roads, especially in the springtime, to find a mate, suitable nesting habitat, or crossing over to a body of water. Turtles will be seen on roads as well after a heavy rain. We can see a blanding turtle here coming across the road on the right, and we can see a snapping turtle on the move after rainfall on the left. So our next threat to our shelled friends are invasive species. Invasive species can negatively impact turtles through competition for resources, predation, and disease transmission. An example, red-eared sliders can outcompete native turtles for food, basking sites, and nesting areas. Additionally, invasive species like rats can prey on turtle eggs and hatchlings, while some invasive plants can alter habitats. Another threat to our shelled friends is pollution, which serves as a huge threat, and it can come in many different forms, like physical pollution, such as bags, trash, debris. Another form of pollution is chemical pollution. An example of how this affects turtles is how endocrine disruption chemicals, EDCs, can affect turtles' natural hormones, which can lead to health and reproduction problems. And the last threat that I will discuss is the illegal turtle trade. The illegal poaching and trade of wild turtles and tortoises is a huge problem globally, as turtles are sought after for their shells, meat, medical reasons, and even for the pet trade. To address this threat, the Collaborative to Combat the Illegal Trade in Turtles, abbreviated CCITT, was formed in 2018 with the mission of advancing efforts to better understand, prevent, and eliminate the illegal collection and trade of North America's native turtles. The CCITT strives to build a cross-disciplinary and multi-sectoral network of conservation professionals dedicated to addressing the challenges that stem from illegal collection and trade. Membership is composed of wildlife law enforcement, biologists, legal experts, social scientists, communication experts, and other professionals.
So because of all the different kinds of threats that turtles face, Wild Turtle Week has been created. So it's an initiative by the Partners in Reptile and Amphibian Conservation, abbreviated to PARC, whose mission is to foraging proactive partnerships like ones with you all to conserve amphibians and reptiles and the places they live. So Wild Turtle Week is an initiative through PARC as well as with U.S. Fish and Wildlife and Association of Fish and Wildlife Agencies, all dedicated to spreading awareness about wild turtles, how people can celebrate them, protect them, and just learn more about them. So Wild Turtle Week started in 2022 to spread the awareness of wild turtles. Sea turtles are obviously part of Wild Turtle Week. They're wild turtles, but a main focus of Wild Turtle Week is to talk about the other 80% of turtles that are out there, the freshwater and terrestrial turtles as well, so people can learn more about them and connect with them. So every year, Wild Turtle Week takes place in the second full week in June, before World Turtle Day. Because this webinar is supposed to be evergreen, be sure to check the PARC website for this year's Wild Turtle Week dates in June. The website also has other resources for Wild Turtle Week and even more information about turtles. So Wild Turtle Week is really important because it requires us to get together and share turtles to everyone. So partners are really important for Wild Turtle Week. So let's elevate turtles and their conservation together. Wild Turtle Week is primarily a social media campaign, basically, for the week. So that can be on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, any kinds of platforms that you can share content about turtles to your audiences and how people can connect and conserve them. But Wild Turtle Week can also exist offline in the form of trivia nights or any sort of community events that you want to host in honor of Turtle Week. It's a really great way to connect with the local organizations around you as well, whether that's your local zoo or museum that might just want to share how their organization celebrates turtles. So there's other ways of doing it as well offline. And so Wild Turtle Week follows different themes for each day. And so Dimitri will walk you through those themes.
Thanks, Tessa. So Monday we have Turtley Awesome, and it's about why turtles are special. Tuesday we have Turtles Need Our Help, and this one highlights the threats that turtles face. Wednesday, Every Turtle Counts. Turtle populations can't afford extra losses. Thursday, Turtle Power. Turtles play important roles in their ecosystems. A little bit about what Tessa was talking about before. And Friday, Be a Good Turtle Neighbor. Everyone can play a role in helping turtles. So each day is, of course, a different theme, and each day it highlights things that um, make turtles awesome, ways that we can help them, you know, live in their ecosystems naturally, and things we can just do to educate ourselves to help turtles all over.
So how you can participate, like I said earlier, is just posting about turtles on social media. So we have a social media toolkit that every year we add new content to. So the QR code for that is up there. It also will be found on the park website. And on the excuse me, social media toolkit, bit of a tongue twister. There's different content based on each of the days that Dimitri just shared with you all. So you feel free to use the graphics that we create and different kinds of messaging. So you can just copy and paste if you want to your different platforms. There are, again, all sorts of ways to participate. On the social media toolkit, we have 50 states of turtles. So creators.inc created these adorable little graphics for turtles all across the 50 states. So you can use those graphics as well. Just be sure to credit. And then there's also just ways to take like a turtle pledge. So for every turtle counts, for instance, there's opportunities to get people engaged in different ways, as well as just, sharing information on social media, but there's also ways to do calls of action. And the most important part of Wild Turtle Week, so we can keep, this movement going, keeping track of how many people are engaged, is using the hashtags that are shown up here. So just hashtag Wild Turtle Week, shell-e-brate turtles, keep wild turtles wild. So that's actually a huge part of Wild Turtle Week was created because it's really important that we keep turtles wild. There is a lot of issues with turtles being taken out of the wild for the variety of reasons that Dimitri shared earlier. So that's a great hashtag. And just hashtagging the daily themes. So like every turtle counts and things like that. Just, showing how people can share and spread the word. There's also different kinds of educational resources that you can use if you're a teacher or a camp counselor or something like that. So people can share why they celebrate turtles, for instance, with the coloring page that we have here, also made by Creators Inc. So there's a lot of different ways and a lot of different options on the social media toolkit and the park website for you to participate. Um, and figuring out ways that you want to participate because why turtles are special to you, is a really fun way to engage with your community in new ways. And whether that's just the community online, whether you want to collaborate with different like-minded organizations or your local communities, there's just a lot of different ways to just celebrate turtles. It's a pretty simple mission. Just getting people connected with turtles. So it's a really fun way to connect with the people around you. So we hope you join us for Wild Turtle Week. Feel free to reach out to myself or Dimitri. Our emails are up on the screen here. For questions, if you want to get more involved, maybe helping us create more content for the social media toolkit, wanting to collaborate in some sort of way, or just wanting to partner for the week itself. The website is up here as well, so you can check the dates for your Wild Turtle Week in June, as well as finding more resources and things of that nature. So we're really excited for Wild Turtle Week. It's my favorite week of the year for sure. I'm sure it's Dimitri's as well. And have a great rest of your day, and thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you can join us this year.